Good evening. Good evening. Let's talk about brain plasticity. I hope you can understand what I'm explaining. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from because this is just for practice, for a way of for me to explain the brain plasticity of the neurons, the neuroplasticity that happens in developing brain and in brains of adults. So in the brains of children and in the brains of adults. So let's see. Neuroplasticity is the brain ability that's change, adapt due to experience. It is an umbrella term referring to the brain's ability to change, recognize, or grow neural networks. So as you know, the brain grows. The brain is a muscle. It's a muscle or an organ, and it is by training and by learning new experiences, new ways of new skills, learning new skills. This will help the brain to change, the brain to be better at some things, the brain would to be better at new at task learning. So new task learning, things that you are things that you are uh, that you learn new. This brain, the brain will help the neural circuits will grow, and you will learn more things, and you will learn it easier as it develops. And as it develops, it will grow into a memory, and memory, muscle memory in the brain, and that will help the skill be that. How do you know that it's integrated in the memory? Is because of repetition. The more repetition you do, the more repetition it takes, the more you do the skill, the better you get, the better you get at it. It's like learning a thing over and over and over again until you master it. Let's see. It's an umbrella term referring to the brain's ability to change, reorganize, or grow neural network. This can involve functional changes due to brain damage or structural damage due to learning. Uh, this can involve functional change due to brain damage. So if you have a brain damage or a brain seizure, this means that the brain is damaged in areas that the brain needs to function, that the brain needs to operate your anatomy, your body, your memory, your skill set, your motor skills. All those things are very important for somebody to for the if you don't have a functional brain, that means that your body is not functioning at its highest potential. What does that mean? This can involve functional changes due to brain damage or structural changes due to learning. So we are talking about learning. The way you learn, the way your body learns is via practicing and via doing practice over and over again. What does that do? By moving your hands in a way, by seeing, by thinking, by experiencing, your body makes new neural circuits. You see it as the branches on a tree. The branches on a tree that grow have you have the big what you call it. You have the tree log. You have the tree log, and then when it goes up, you have the little branches, and at the end of the little branches, you have the leaves, and then you have the flowers. The leaves that are the branches that are that you see in a tree, you can see that as the branches that are growing inside of your brains. Only inside of your brain you have millions and billions and billions and billions of neurons. What does that mean? That means that the billion neurons that you have inside of your brain, that means that the brains have ways of growing. So how does the brain grow inside of the of how does the neurons grow inside of the brain? Uh, on top of that, when I'm explaining this, I'm going to explain the narcissistic abuse type beside of it. So when you talk about narcissistic abuse, narcissistic damage, that means that the brain is getting brainwashed. That means the brain is getting reintroduced to new things, things that do not belong to the character of the person. That's why the brain gets a new way of. That's why the brain get brain damage, because it's gonna get introduced to things that the brain is not compatible with, that the body and the mind and the soul is not you cannot it is not for that brain. It is not for the development of the brain, but for the destruction of it. So that means that somebody that has a little program on you, that has you have a little brainwash program on you, that means that the brainwash program, they will repeat. So it would abuse you, put you under stress, and then repeat the abuse. So put you under stress, and then repeat the things that they want to put inside of your brain. So what does that do? That just messes up your brain plasticity. It messes up your brain plasticity, it messes up the areas, the function of your brain, and why you cannot be the full functional operational you. You will be like a mechanical little destruct robot, not knowing who you are and not knowing what to do and not know what to do in life. So you would be a little slave to that narcissistic narcopath. So what does that mean? That means that you are being hypnotized, that you are being slowly introduced into the manipulation and into the manipulation and into the brain plasticity disorder that you're gonna get for how to explain that, for having this narcissistic partner or this narcissistic friend. The contact between two is not going to be good for your health, is not going to be good for your overall future. So what do we have? Plasticity refers to the brain's malleability or ability to change. It does not imply the brain is plastic. So it doesn't mean really to the full word of it, so to the full, you don't have to take it too literally. So the brain is not made of plastic, but it means that it can change, that it can grow like a muscle that can grow bigger or grow smaller. If you don't use your muscle, you get brain atrophy. Brain atrophy means that the muscle will decline and the muscle will be slowly broken off by the body because you are not using it. The same goes with your brain. If your brain is not used, you will not have a healthy brain, because the brain is made to think. The brain is made to do certain actions. If these things are not, if the brain is not used, the brain will be deteriorate and will become like a little. It will get atrophy. That means that the brain will not function as this 100% functionality. So what does that do with a narcissistic abuse relationship? That means that the narcissistic abuse keep you in a stress mode. So stress mode is a stress survival mode. Is for fight and flight mode. That means the fight and flight mode keeps the brain in constant stress. This causes a lot of energy. This causes a lot of damage in the brain. This causes a lot of hypervigilance. They will give you post-traumatic stress disorder. This will give you a lot of things that a human body is not used to. Why? Because you should not be in constant threat mode. You should not be constant watch mode, thinking that the threat is everywhere and the threat is going to play a game with you. So what this does with your brain, it will damage your brain. You will get a post-traumatic brain damage. You will get a not functional brain that will mess up your personality, that would mess up your mood. Your mood will change into a bigger disorder. You will get depression disorder. You will get your tank will be empty. So you will be always moody. You will get in trouble. You don't want to finish off your task. You don't want to do the things that you regularly do, and you will get depressed. And that's how this little shithead of not excuse me for my language, this little pig, this what you call a swine. This is how this swine feeds on you. So it steals your good energy and turns you into a smelly little pile of shit, so they can get energy from you, and then it leaves you, and then as soon as you get better, it will come back and try to do it again. That's how disgusting this fucking thing is. That's how that little disgusting rat that you try to kill and doesn't want to leave. That's the way that this thing operates. So let's go back to the brain plasticity. The human brain is composed of approximately 100 billion neurons. Early researchers believe that the neurogenesis and the creation of new neurons stops shortly after birth. Today it's understood that the brain's neuroplasticity allows to reorganize pathways, create a new connection. In some cases, never create new neurons. So they talk about that little babies, when they are young, the brains after the brain is stopped developing, the brains will stop. The brain will stop. The brain will stop evolving. The brain will not have new brain plasticity. What does this mean? This means that the brain will stop. New tasks cannot be learned. Then now they reorganized it. They did another research on it, and they find out that as you grow older, you can learn new things, but I think you cannot learn it that fast. It's about how healthy your brain is, how healthy your way of thinking is. If you always use your brain in strategies, the games of a strategy, you always use your brain in thinking, in observing, in rationalizing, so your brain is 100% functional and is healthy. For you, neurogenesis will be easier to create for somebody that is an alcoholic, or is a junkie, or is a way is in a way unhealthy, and is in a way in a brain state where the brain is not functional at its 100% potential. This person will not have the same neuroplasticity, not have the same neurogenesis, and will not have the same not the same brain functionality as the person that is healthy. So what do we have by this? Let's see. What do we have? The brain's functional plasticity ability to move functions from a damaged area of the brain to an undamaged areas. Functional plasticity. I learned about this, that the brain is such a such a amazing brain, such an amazing muscle, such an amazing organ, that when it fails in one area, it tries to fix that in another area. So it will some part of the brain will take up the function of the other part of the brain, so the brain can function at least at its highest potential as possible. This is what we call a takeover of task of the brain functionality. Structural plasticity is the brain's ability to actually change the physical structural result of learning. So the physical ability of the brain, the structure, that means the way the brain is designed. Some parts of the brain can become larger and decrease, and other parts can decrease. So that means the more you learn, you learn about a certain task that is of the matter of to that brain area will grow, and the other brain area will decrease. So if you have an overstimulated amygdala, or you have an overstimulated frontal cortex, that means that frontal cortex will grow and the amygdala will grow or decrease. So that means you will have more stress, more fear, more all kind of anxiety disorders. Why do I talk about the amygdala? Excuse me. Because the amygdala is what the fight response is, where the fight and flight response is located. I think they've told me that the amygdala is also where the fear response is situated. So that means that means that the area that is responded, that area that is functional for the brain matter, the fight and flight response. This means that the fight and flight response is that's what this narcissistic rat, this narcissistic disgusting pig is trying to hit, so that you don't get a functional working amygdala, and that you always be in stress and always be in a matter of fight and flight, and that you can't do your work and you can't finish what you are doing. So the best is to go no contact with this narcissistic rat, with this dog-faced pig, so they cannot damage your physique and they cannot damage your how do you call it, damage your brain structure. What more do we have? How neuroplasticity works. So the first few years of a child's life is time rapid brain growth, birth every neurons. Cerebral cortex estimated synapses or small gap between neurons where nerve impulses are relayed. By the age of 3, this numbers is going to open 15,000 synapses per neuron. The average adult, however, only has about a half number of synapses. Why? Because we gain new experience, some connection are strengthened while others are eliminated. This process is known as the synaptic pruning. Neurons that are used for frequently develop stronger connections. Those are the rarely or never used eventually die. By the developing new connections and pruning away weak ones, the brain can adapt to the changing environment. So as you grow as a little baby, you get more neurons. You have more neurons. So why would they have more neurons? Let's think about that. Oh, they have more neurons because babies have more things to. I think I don't know why babies have more neurons, but as I've learned in this blog, it means that the brain's ability to disconnect neurons as a little kid grows older. That grows older. That means that means that that means that the neuroplasticity that the neuroplasticity of the brain gets cut in half, because if you have too many neurons, you will have too many. Your brain will be like an ADHD patient. There would be too many stimuli for your brain, and too many. It will cost you a lot of energy. So as you grow older, your brain neurons disconnect, but other neurons strengthen. Why? Because the brain neurons that you use and to learn when you were a baby strengthen, and the things and the tasks that you've learned as a little baby to your adulthood. This will strengthen your neurogenesis of your. This will strengthen your brain. Your neurons will form your character, and your neurons will form in the way that the characteristics that are of the characteristics that were suited the best for you. These characteristics will come to a full development, and the things that you didn't really experience and didn't take much interest in, those things will be disconnected and will be cut off, I think. What is the brain damaged? What does the weasel of the dingus do? The narcissistic weasel. The narcissistic weasel repeats the same shit over and over and over again, makes new connections in the neurons, makes new connections in the brain cells, of trying to brainwash you and making you think of things that they want you to think of. What this does is trying to fix your brain in a way that the brain plasticity changes. So the the brain functionality changes, and it will give the brain an effect that is not desirable for the body, but is desirable for the narcissistic weasel. So as soon as you know that this weasel is trying to get this thing on you, that's when the game is over. That's when the brain plasticity and the changings in the brain will stop, and that's when you will get healthy. As long as you don't know this, as long as you don't know that somebody is doing this to you, this will get you in a lot of trouble, and you will be dysfunctional, and you will get a lot of sickness. You will get a lot of things that your body shouldn't actually be nearby, shouldn't actually be exposed to. Why? Because these things are not. It's feeding on you. So this narcissistic, disgusting animal it is feeding on you. It is not helping you. It is feeding off your reaction It is feeding off your pain. It's a feeding off the things that it even if the dog does something for you, even if it helps you, it is because of the feeling that it gets while it's helping you. You do not exist to this person. This person is feeding off you. This person is eating you. And some of these people are so mentally disorganized, for so mentally disabled and so mentally sick that they don't even know that they're doing it, that they don't even have any recollection of that they're doing it. For them, it's normal. So for them, they will change everything about they will change the narrative. They will think of ways. They will lie. They will steal. They will deflect. They will do all kinds of things to make their fantasy a reality. Because for them, their fantasy is about ego dystonics. That means they will change the environment and change the persons that are in the environment to suit their fantasies. And if you're not part of that fantasy, if you disrupt their fantasy, they will come and try to get at you because you messed up their little perfect bubble. So if you are in the area of these people, if you have problems with these people, with this kind of people, if you have met them and you are in a relationship with these people, you should get out as soon as possible. You should get contact with the police. You should get professional help, because the interaction with this kind of predator is very damaging to somebody's brain functionality. Let's see. Benefits of neuroplasticity. There are many benefits of brain neuroplasticity, allowing your brain to adapt and change, help and promote. So you have a lot of benefits. That means the ability to learn new things, enhance existing capabilities, recover from strokes and traumatic brain injuries, strengthen areas where function is lost, as decline, improvement that can boost brain fitness. That means if you learn new things, your brain gets a boost in learning new things. You will get dopamine, and you will get a dopamine hit for every time you learn new things, because accomplishing new things will get you a dopamine what you call it, a dopamine reward, because learning new things, learning new tasks brings new skills, and you can become a better person and a better operator at that particular task that you did. So you learn a new task that you now have in your arsenal. So you became a little bit smarter. You became a little bit more useful to somebody, more useful to the world, and more useful to your environment, and most importantly, most useful to yourself. So what does this mean? The ability to learn new things. You should also be able to learn new things. That means that you will give yourself like a little boost from, okay, I was smart enough to learn a new thing. What does this mean? This means that if you're not smart enough to learn new things, that means that you will get everybody is smart in something. Everybody is smart in, excuse me, I should not go that fast, right? So what does this mean? This means that the ability to learn new things will give you a dopamine hit, so you will have a new thing in your arsenal. What a narcissistic abuse partner does, it's keeping you away from learning new things, keeping you away from learning things that are good for you. What does this do? This will not reward you in a dopamine hit. This will reward you. This will reward you in a way to decline your what you call it. This will decline your this will decline your growth. This will decline your dopamine hit. You will be your brain would be a vegetable and would not be functioning at 100% functionality. This will cause you to be depressed. This will cause you to be something that is not of use. You didn't use your energy in a productive way. in a way to learn new things. So that means that your energy is it got depleted and you got nothing back for it. The ability to enhance existing cognitive capabilities. What does that mean? The ability to enhance existing cognitive abilities. That means that the existing capability, uh, the, the abilities that you now have, that you will that you can now uh, 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 that you can now enhance, you can make better, you can make, there's something that you have, you can make better than you already had. What does that mean? That means that the skill set that you have now, that you, excuse me, I'm thinking a little childish. That the skill set that you have now, that the skill set that you have now is of better enhancement. So if you were at a level 2 or a level 3 in a brain, in a skill, that means that if you learn more, if you do more of the work, you get more specialized in what you do, you get more specialized in areas, in areas in areas that that will those areas will get an increase in ability and increase in functionality. Uh, Again, what the narcissistic dog does, what the narcissistic weasel does, is get you not to do those things. So that means that you will get no dopamine hit. You will not get a way of an enhancement. Your skills will be at where you had to be. So they will try to stop you, tell you, oh, don't do that, man. You don't need that. Why would you go and run now? Why would you go and play for tennis? Why would you use perfume? Why would you take a shower? Right? Why would you do this? Examine that. Examine some pathetic dog that says to you that you don't need that. Don't worry. Right? Don't bother with that. You don't need that. You're good. That try to put you in a way, in a direction that you can get in a lot of trouble, and you probably will not be able to come out. What would you do with such a person when you find out that somebody is trying to play you like that? And first of all, it is not your fault. Don't worry about it. These piece of shits are skilled at it because they use your empathy against you. But after you find out, you will cut them loose very fast. Strengthen areas where function is lost or has declined. So if you have functionality abilities inside of your brain that are declined, that are not in full function mode, or they lost their functionality into a lower percentage than they were used to, that means that you can regain the abilities of the full functionality, of close to the functionality, as you go and practice these things again and again. That means so when you are practicing again, when you are practicing, when you are on the on working on yourself, on working on the things that can make yourself better, this will help you. This will help you to regain the full functionality of that lost ability that you had. Again, don't become lazy. Don't become don't become addicted to the words of that weasel. That weasel will tell you don't need nothing. Don't worry about it. Just come chill with me. Let us smoke and drink and let us go with the woman's. Go with the what you call it, with the woman. Go with the girls. Go out and drink and do all those things, so you forget your mark, you forget your target, you forget the things that you would have to do, you forget the things that make you really you. It's no problem if you go out once a week, or once a month, or every now and then, but to do it over and over and over and over again, this means that they will get you in a lot of trouble and gonna get harder to recover from. So Narcissistic weasel doesn't give a fuck. It's already staying there. It likes there. It likes to be there. It likes to be in that environment. The resident of that weasel is in between the manipulation and the eating and all those little things that teenage boys and girls do. They just stay there and they like it, so they want you to come there and join them too. And if you don't, they will get jealous or they will try to attack you. So let's see. Improvements that can boost brain fitness. Brain fitness can be improved by neurogenesis, can be improved by book reading, can be improved by learning new functionalities, can be improved by video games, by talking, by discussion, by dialogue, by good eating, by drinking a lot of water, by fitness, a lot of things that are really easy, really common, a lot of people do, and by moderation. You should be moderating your health. You should be a checkup every month, every 2 months. You should check yourself, like you check the tires of your car. You should be in check of all these things. What is the narcissistic abuse? Do narcissistic abuse takes away your energy, takes away your vitality, takes away your mood to do things, the mood to operate, the mood to do things that are to a benefit to you. They will get you into a state that you will be self-destructing, self-doubting, and self-isolating. Don't do those things. Those things are very bad for your brain, and those things will run you into the wall, and maybe you will not survive, or maybe you will not regain that fast. Keep yourself in check, keep yourself healthy, and the most of all, stay of no contact with these people. No talking, no feeding, no hello, no goodbye, nothing. No, just if you meet them, just hello and goodbye. That's it. Understand? Nothing, no sex with them, nothing. Understand? So what does that mean? You can be with this person. It doesn't mix. They will hurt you. Characteristics of neuroplasticity. So what does this mean? Age of environment of playing a role. Where plasticity occurs throughout the lifetime. Wait one moment. Specific agents brain growth. Responsive experience. Adult brains. What does this mean? Interaction between environment and genetics plays a role in shaping brain plasticity. So what does that mean? Brain plasticity is also environmental. Brain plasticity is also of the matter if the area that you grow will also have a great impact on the brain characteristic that will show into your phenotype, that will show into your that will express themselves into your functional brain, functional adult brain. Why? Because the things that are of in your sight, the things that you grow up with, the things that you experience, these things will have an impact on your brain plasticity. So if you see a lot of red, see a lot of blue, see a lot of yellow, these colors will also be at your in your adult life. Why is this so important? Because people have a characteristic that is fit to them, and characteristic that is made for them. If you're in an area that is very dangerous or very narcissistic, you can become yourself narcissistic, and you can be yourself of fearful, of maybe very defensive, very attackful, all kinds of way to what you call it, to protect yourself. So what does that mean? That means if you don't like an area, if you don't like a place where you've been, if your gut feeling tells you, okay, this should not be a place for me, then please leave that place, because your gut feeling will probably is not wrong, and it will give you warning signs, and you will get and it would be better to respect those warning signs and leave to another place. For examples, let's see. Your certain areas of brain are largely responsible for certain action. For examples, there are areas of the brain that play critical roles in movement, language, speech, and cognition. So that means the critical roles in movement, language, speech, and cognition. Movement, language, speech, and cognition have all areas inside of the brain that are in development as soon as you are born until your for adulthood. That means that your for adulthood, you will learn, you will have a benefit of the things that you learned as a kid. As a kid, you learn things more. As a kid, you learn more faster, more easier. As a kid, you learn more faster, more easier, more better because you're more interested. You have more energy. You have more. You are more spontaneous. You are more of. You have more of a way of learning things. As an adult, you get less and less energy. You have more and more to concern about. You have more and more to worry about. So learning the new things is a way of it becomes hard. It's not impossible, but it becomes harder. So your movement, language, and speech and cognition patterns of your body, of the movements, of the motor neurons, all these things are get built as when you are young. When you older, these things are difficult to learn if you're not a prodigy, if you're not a marvel, if you're not somebody that's very talented. So these are the things that the narcissistic dog, the narcissistic weasel is jealous about. And the weasel is jealous about the way you talk, the way you move, your speech, your cognition, how smart you are, what you wear, what you don't wear, how you dress yourself, how much money you have, where you spend your money, how you breathe, how you shit, how you talk, all these things. This is the very importance to this pathetic fool of a pig that tries to emulate you and then tries to dish you for it. So you emulating the person that you hate. You want to have you want to have his skill set. You want to have his recognition. You want to have his way of thinking. You like the way this. You like the way how he's dressed. You like the way how he talks. But in the same way, but you hate, and then you hate this person. So that means that you are double. You have a cognitive dissonance. So you like them, but you don't like them. So what do you don't like? That means that the person is actually in a the person, they have a matter of stealing characteristics, of stealing things that are easy, the characteristics that are yours. So they want to be maybe as smart as you, or as beautiful as you, or have the same shoes as you, and all these things they will prepare in a way for you to see yourself in a way that they will set up the environment in a way that it would look that you are the one that is jealous, and that you are the one that can speak, and that you are the one that are not fit to function in society. That's because there are more of them. You have more weasels, you have more dogs that works together. So you have like 10, 20 people wearing all kinds of colors. So if they mix and they join hands, they can show you a different color on their free in any different area. What does this mean? This means that you should not be able to take these people seriously. They are dangerous. So if they are very jealous at you, you should be very careful, because they can go and hurt themselves of the jealousy, of the envy. The envy can make them very angry, and the envy can make them do things that they don't usually do. They only target people that are that can most of the time don't really know how to protect themselves, don't really know about the real life, don't really have people to support them. They don't want to attack somebody that's able to hurt them, that's able to kill them, that's able to take revenge on them. Those people they don't attack. Those people they avoid. They have this avoid mechanism thing, that when they learn about that they can beat you, they can get nothing from you, then they will try to avoid you, because it's a waste of energy and it's a waste of time for you to even be around each other, because you already know the game of the narcissistic pig. Now this was it for this seminar. I'm going to talk about different plasticity developments for different areas of the brain later, but I need a break because for me to explain everything it's gonna take hours and hours and hours of talking, and I think nobody's interested in a video that takes over like 30 or 40 minutes. That's it.